Welcome, friends, to The Songs We Carry. I'm here today with a great friend of mine, Lindsay Benjamin. She hails here in Nashville from New York, where she ran a one-woman cabaret show. She's also done a lot of work in radio, TV, and film. She released her EP in 2015, and now she gigs over here and is songwriting today. We'd love to welcome to the show Lindsay Benjamin.
Thank you, Ansley.
So welcome, and we also have joining us one of my favorite guitar players in town, Shane Bradley. Welcome to the show, guys. I'm so excited to have you on today and to talk about your influences and all the things that have made you into who you are as a songwriter and beyond, you know. And we're going to talk today about our first song, the Rachel Platten song, called The Fight Song.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about what comes to your mind when you hear this song, about what you think about when you're listening to this record.
Something I love about the song and something I was drawn to when I listened to that song in particular is I feel like in my life I've just been through a lot of different personal struggles in family and personal life that have been sort of tragic, unfortunately, and it's just a good reminder that I will get through it and I can get through it. And when that song came out, I was just blown away, and it was a song I actually performed as a cover at one of my very first festival shows in New York City. So I was very excited about her as an artist, and I still, follow her. And I believe Taylor Swift ended up kind of finding her and then brought her into a tour with her years ago. So yeah, she's just always been one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lyrics in the song, it's she's talking about being something small but making a big wave and creating big change.
Yeah.
What kinds of little things do you see in your life that you've done that have created big ripple changes throughout your time?
That's a great question. So a lot of the things that I think have made big impacts are, I would say, the moves I've made around the country. I've lived in New York, I've lived in South Florida, and now I live in Nashville. I think that it's not the place, it's what you're dealing with inside that really helps you kind of navigate the waves of your life. Therapy.
Yeah.
Therapy has been huge for me my whole life. Taking initiative and stepping up to the plate, and if you don't ask, then you'll never know. So I'm kind of the belief that you should always ask, even if it gets you nowhere, because you might miss out on an opportunity if you wait for someone to give you something.
Yeah.
Because most of the time you have to go and get it yourself.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. If you try to go and get it, then you might not get it at all.
Yeah. I mean, I try to stay as positive as I can without, being too toxic positivity. But at the end of the day, people impact me. So choosing to just be around people that inspire me has probably been a huge factor in my life as well. People I've known for a really long time. My best friend Annie has been one of the most inspiring people I've ever met. She goes after everything that she's ever wanted, and she gets it, and it's because she's fearless, and I really respect that about her. I have always found that I'm kind of hesitant to jump to first plate, but I feel like if I get there, then I can get exactly what I want. So she's been a really, really important person. And then my dad, of course, has been a big influence, because my dad has just always been my number one fan, and he's always there to support me and just be there for me, and he believes in my dreams. So having that belief support system has been pretty helpful in terms of that. And then a lot of other people, but I would say those are my top two probably.
Yeah Dad and Bestie.
Yeah.
You told me that you released your EP in 2015. That's the same year as this album came out, by the way. This Rachel Platten song that you brought to me. My
mom was unfortunately involved in a situation where she has passed away, and that happened in 2013. So it was very hard. It's very hard for me to process my emotions. A lot of the time I feel like I think a lot and I analyze and I intellectualize, but sometimes it's really hard for me to actually verbalize what I'm feeling. So I could have a thought, but it doesn't actually settle in until much later. And it took me a while to write a song about my mom. Even to this day, I still kind of feel like I struggle with if I really wrote the song about my mom. But one of the songs is about the man that hit her with his car. Okay. I know that's heavy. The other song is about just the feeling I had about my mom. I went to a beach in Montauk, and friends came and helped me film it, and we put a little rose in the ocean, but we painted it black. We put her picture there, and we added a little clip in the YouTube video of me as a baby with my mom just, playing with me as a kid. Yeah. So I would say those two in particular are about my mom. Mm-hmm. And in general, I think a lot of the songs I've written over the years have elements to the pain that I've always had. Yeah. So through the years, the songs do get lighter.
Well, I think for many of us, some people just write stories that turn into songs. But a lot of us, including me, write music sort of journalistically, right? Mm-hmm. It first the lyrics come because we're just kind of letting it all out, and music is therapy in that way, and allows us to find a way to channel and explore and explain those feelings with the feelings that music brings, and the emotion that it all creates. And so, do you feel like creating that music has been a part of your healing journey?
It's absolutely cathartic. There's no way that the one thing about me, even though it's not everything about my identity, is music is part of my soul. Mm-hmm. So when I listen to songs, there's a song by Secondhand Serenade called Vulnerable. I mean, I hear lyrics and I just feel so connected to it, and I start to sometimes even cry. Mm-hmm. I saw an Adele concert and I just started crying. So I would say that music and everything I've written, there's a reason for it. Mm-hmm. But the separation of not taking it personally, if someone doesn't maybe enjoy the song in the same way, has definitely been a journey.
Yeah. So
yeah.
That's the tough and very vulnerable part of releasing personal songs, that are just really honest, about how I feel about stuff.
They say that you should write enough songs that you can detach. Mm-hmm. And I think I learned over the years, just from my experiences and writing with other people, especially in Nashville, I started doing some kind of writing sessions, and it took me out of myself. So it really helped not only learn new styles, but it helped me adjust and not feel so connected to the song that if I were to hear an opinion that maybe wasn't my favorite, that I would still at least be able to see what they're saying. Because sometimes in the past, it's but you're just judging my character if you don't like my song, because that's about me. It's just about learning how to disconnect from that feeling.
Yeah, and not take it too personally.
Yeah. Once you learn how to navigate those tough times, it becomes easier. The more you write, it really is true that the more you write, the easier it becomes to kind of just separate yourself. Mm-hmm. And especially because a lot of what happens is you just start writing about random experiences that have nothing to do with you. Mm-hmm. And I found that here. I mean, it's been super helpful in Nashville.
Yeah. And when did you start co-writing here?
In the last year.
Okay.
Yeah. I've co-written with a couple people. Actually, one of the songs I'm doing today is a co-write.
Oh, cool.
And it's a neighbor of mine who's a country singer, so it's totally opposite of what I normally do. But I've been trying to work with artists who are different genres, so I can build my skill set even further.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, on that note, why don't we talk about the first song that you're going to sing for me today of your own?
Sure. I'm singing a song called Back from the Dead. I wrote this 2 years ago, I believe. I was coming out of a depression, and it was kind of, the EP is called Back from the Dead, so it's the main song, and it is about just kind of breaking out of my depression and coming back to myself, and standing my ground and saying, I'm back, bitches. You know what I mean? It's a rock song with some pop elements, but generally leans more rock. And it's one of my favorite songs that I've written. I wrote it with Avi Turner, who's a producer out in New York. And I had a great experience writing it with him.
Great. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, well, why don't we hear it? Back from the Dead. You want to play it for us, guys?
Yeah.
Very good. This is fun because I know this one probably the best, I think.
Yeah, join in.
All your songs.
All my life felt like I was in a bad dream. I've been stuck in the in-between. I'm like a time bomb, a ticking clock. My head feels like it's going to explode. I'm tired of this and now I'm bored. So tell me something I don't know, 'cause I'll survive. It's like you brought my ghost back from the dead. All the times the voices up inside my head kept me doing the same shit over again. It's like a fire, it keeps me alive, and I'm about to ignite control. I'm tired of this and I want more. So tell me something I don't know, 'cause I'll survive when it felt like a reaper was knocking at my door. Out of the dark and into your head, it's like bringing a ghost back from the dead. You can try to put up a fight, but I'm coming back for what was mine. It's like bringing a ghost back from the dead. It's like you brought my ghost back from the dead. Out of the dark and into your head, it's like bringing a ghost back from the dead. You can try to put up a fight, but I'm coming back for what was mine. It's like bringing a ghost back from the dead. It's like you brought my ghost back from the dead. It's like you brought my ghost back from the dead.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Very good. Okay, yes, I'm glad that I know this one a little bit, and I know some of the lyrics, because I kind of want to dive in a little bit. Some of them are straightforward. Yes, thank you, Shane. Beautiful playing as always. You have a lyric where you're talking about all the voices in your head.
Mm-hmm.
They keep you doing the same things over and over again. Where do you think those voices have come from in your life? Do you think that stuff is from when you were really young, or do you think that stuff has kind of come with you as an adult, or what are those voices that put you in that place?
That's a great question. I think it comes from my childhood and my adulthood. My vulnerable years might have shaped me in a certain point of my life, but then it's up to you to kind of build upon that. And there are things that happened in my childhood that I think stuck with me into my adulthood, and I had to learn how to unravel that. And I tend to kind of take on a caretaker position in a lot of my friendships and relationships. And with that, it takes up a lot of emotional space. And then I end up taking on what I call them demons inside my own head, bullies in my head. I end up taking on other people's problems and making them my own. So it's definitely been a lot of kind of just, again, detaching from other people because their problems aren't mine. But then, my anxiety kind of assists in this because I don't want my friends or relationships or family members to feel that if I'm detaching, I don't care. So there's kind of a balance. And then, of course, a lot of the traumas and things that have happened personally in my family since I was a kid have probably been a big factor in where all those ghosts come from. And I've done a lot of healing work, a lot of Reiki. I'm very spiritual. I know some people find that controversial, but I've done a lot of psychic readings. I've done a lot of Reiki. I've done brain spotting therapy, which is similar to EMDR. And it just helps me navigate what I'm feeling in a way that feels more aligned with the person I am. I know that people also find astrology quite unique, and some people don't believe in it. But again, everyone has their outlets that keep them at peace. It's all about perspective. That's where that comes from for me. Hearing people's different ideas helps me say, okay, maybe I can see that. And then it kind of also assists in writing.
Yeah.
It takes you outside of the box. We all live in a little box, right? Our comfort zone, this is it, right? So stepping out of it means challenging ourselves. And sometimes that's really hard.
Absolutely.
But the challenge gives you the wins. taking my bag.
Right, you can try to fight me, but it ain't gonna turn out good.
It's not gonna be good. Back from the Dead was a really fun process, and for some reason I have this pattern of putting out new music every 2 years. Mm-hmm. I put out my first EP in 2015, and then I started writing, and it wasn't really an EP, but I did my one-woman cabaret show release 2 years later, and then I did my next EP 2 years later, and then I released my song I wrote in Nashville 2 years after that. So I just find it, that seems to be how I work. Maybe every 2 years I learn something new. Yeah. I don't know.
We're on a Lindsay off year too.
We're on a Lindsay off year.
Yeah. Are you taking an off year right now?
Yeah, I think I've been doing a lot of self-discovery since Nashville's been a really healing place for me. There's been a lot of very uncomfortable breakthroughs, personally and professionally, and I've been just trying to make sure that I'm taking care of myself so that I can, when I put something out there, I'm putting it out with full force. Mm-hmm. So this year, one of my goals was actually to do a lot more songwriting. And Shane and I actually wrote a song together last year that we performed once or twice. Yeah. Writing with Shane was awesome because he's one of my favorite guitar players I've played with in Nashville. And it's very comforting to work with him. Yeah. So he provides his insight in a way that I understand. Mm-hmm. And I think, it's always good to write with people who are guitarists as well because they understand song structure. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Allegedly.
I don't know the Nashville number system, so I have no words
okay. That's
there.
what we need the guitar players for. Right?
Yes. Yeah. I know how to play by ear. Everyone's like, do you play an instrument? I'm like, I have a piano and I have a guitar. Uh-huh. I have taken lessons before in both. I did not keep up with it. I always have said to myself, I'm going to learn. I think if you have to really want it to really do it, and you have to be really disciplined, and it just was never my discipline. I think it's beautiful, and I would love to learn it, but I don't know that I have to work ethic to really put myself that deep into the instruments. Mm-hmm. But I do know some chords, so sometimes I will stand at my piano or use the guitar, and I'll just play a chord 25 times. Mm-hmm. And then maybe I'll come up with a lyric. But a lot of it for me is actually just when I spiral. I'm a little manic, so I write down my thoughts and I just kind of think of a mood. And then I just sing some things, or I turn on my Spotify and I just listen to some music and I get some inspiration from songs that are in the mood that I'm kind of trying to achieve. And then I ask Shane what to do.
Put chords under.
I put chords under that, please. Yeah. Play this mood. Anyone I've ever worked with will tell you the same thing. I'll be like, can you do this? Like I'll make sounds. Yeah. And I think when we were preparing for our show at John Bon Jovi's, and I was in a room with him and Alan Bowers, who's a drummer in Nashville. And
shout out Alan. Love you, Alan.
Yep, and Kazi, he was a bassist. We kind of just were in the room, and I was trying to speak music technically, and I think I was just making noises, and you guys were like,
got it.
So I think once people get to know me, they understand my process. But if you are a very, very technically based musician and that's what you expect from me, I might not be the right fit for you. I did, fun fact, blow out do you remember when producers didn't have they had the old school cassette setups? I did a Kelly Clarkson cover many years ago in a backyard shed studio, and I completely blew out the sound system. That's
too much power.
They were, because I have I just got surgery for a blockage in my sinuses, so my voice was a little huskier. Yeah. But I was always a belter. I did musical theater, and I remember the producer being like, "Your voice is very loud. Yeah. We need a different type of setup for you." So I also, back then, I don't think I had the same control as I do now, and I probably was over singing.
Yeah, it's fun to just sing big.
Just sing big.
It's so fun.
Sing big. I was taking,
I get it.
Yeah, I was taking voice lessons and just trying to understand how to sing.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. It was just hilarious.
Yeah. let's get into it a little bit and talk about your second song that you're going to sing for me. Because I hear this sort of empowerment thread, like self-empowerment thread going through it, you know? This reminder to yourself that you're strong and you're going to walk through the fire and you're going to get through, you know, all the things, you know, that are flying at you.
Yeah, I feel that a lot of songs I've written over the years have had this empowerment theme. I start in this really dark place and then I have evolution and I become this, you know, greater person trying to be better every day. So this song I wrote is actually one I wrote with a friend who's a country singer here in Nashville named Chandler Ray. So we got together, hive mind, and just kind of threw it out there. We're both new in town, so we just kind of wrote about our experience and just being an artist and what it feels like, but still hanging on, not giving up.
Yeah.
So Kate Vogel, It's Only Life. So Kate Vogel was an artist back in the day. Well, she still actually does music, but back then she had a song on an MTV show. It might have been Laguna Beach or it might have been...
Oh, wow.
So, I'm aging myself, but it might have...
That the words Laguna Beach just meant anything to me was like, whoosh, flashback.
It was... it was one of my favorite shows back then, you know? Real World back in the, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But she had a song called It's Only Life, and I just remember hearing the credits rolling of the show and being like, I love that song. And I actually got the chance to meet her early 2010 area, maybe.
Okay.
I was serving as a cocktail waitress in New York City at a rooftop bar, and I remember seeing her and being like, oh my God, that's Kate Vogel. She was at the bar, and I remember going up to her and being like, hi, my name is Lindsay. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I just love you, and I just think you're so great, and I love your music. And I just remember her being really almost, she was obviously very grateful, but she was so sweet, but also so surprised almost that maybe I even recognized her. I'm not sure. I don't know what her career has looked like, but her song really inspired me. So I was just happy to share that with her.
Well, similar to like a placement, like you heard the song on a Laguna Beach placement.
Yes.
You know, we were kind of talking about during our break, the song that you're going to play for me in a bit. It's more country than most of your material.
Yes.
Which I agree with. You do tend to like lean into the art rocky. It's got a little bit of that of your musical theater to it.
Absolutely.
You know, a little on top.
Yeah.
With rock edge usually.
Yeah.
I think you like having a band.
I love having a band.
Yeah.
I love it. I've sang in intimate spaces in Nashville, and it's been amazing for my confidence actually, because singing with Shane in a very intimate space is actually more intimidating than you would think.
Oh yes.
Because everyone is silently watching you and they're staring and everyone's paying attention, and in bands you're protected by other things. So if your voice cracks or if you're off rhythm or key, you have a band, there's a lot of noise, and you can really lean into that, but you can't lean into anything when you're doing an intimate writer's round.
That's right.
So it actually has been really great for my confidence stage-wise, even though I've been doing this for 20 years. But there's a bar here in Nashville, the Flamingo, Wednesday nights. Everyone loves Wednesday nights at the Flamingo.
Oh, yeah.
And the singers there are amazing. The artists are amazing, and they do this improv. And I remember when I first moved to Nashville and I was so intimidated. I was like, these people are brilliant. They're so good. And I eventually got the courage at one of those nights to go up and sing. And I just remember saying to myself, I've really grown because these are people that I'm so honored to be singing with and improving with. I mean, improv is so hard.
Yeah,
so
it scares me. I don't do that.
To me, it was a really special moment, even though it was brief, just because if it was when I first moved here, I probably wouldn't have done it. But because of the writer's rounds and because of the intimate stages, I feel a lot more capable. I've found that there are certain ways that I can maintain my composure on stage, even when I'm nervous. And I that's when I place my feet. I'm not doing it right now because I'm in a skirt, but that's when I place my feet grounded, hip distance apart, equal. And I'm just grounded so that if I'm feeling nervous, then I could put that fear into something. And I just recall the show we actually did together at Greenlight. I recall being very, unfortunately, admittingly, I was very insecure that night. The audience was small, but I remember being so hyper-focused on what they thought of me. And I also had a thought on stage. I said, whoa, Lindsay, hold on. You need to work on your self-love, because I'm there doing something I love and I need to have fun doing that instead of worrying what the audience thinks of my sound, how I look. And then you just start bullying yourself and getting really negative. And I was so proud I stopped myself. And I said, Lindsay, you are here because for a reason, and you are singing and doing what you love, and you have a voice, and you are allowed to share it however you'd like. My biggest struggle in Nashville musically has been because I did do musical theater. I feel a little bit of an insecurity sometimes because Nashville is a bit more mainstream in some ways, and I'm not. So finding my footing has been a bit more of a challenge, but there have been moments where I have found it, and I got the chance to perform at John Bon Jovi's for Rock and Roll Opry, and also I did an event at Chiefs, which was
that's awesome.
Great.
Love Chiefs.
So I feel like in those instances, even though they were not often, I got the chance to lean into my style. So I actually have only been here a year and a half. Okay, so it's not even 2 years.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
that's crazy to me. I feel like I've known you for like 5 years.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know. I talk a lot.
How long ago did I meet you? Like 2 years?
No, I've been
same. We met at like the same time.
Yeah, August 24.
24 June.
How's that possible? That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
I actually went to Angie's open mic with Creative Pulse a month after she started it, I believe.
Yeah, okay, so that must have been...
She started in June, I believe, and then I went to I was away in July for work, and then I came in end of July, and then I started going every week, made some connections and friends, and now Creative Pulse has turned into a very beautiful collaborative.
Yes,
so.
Yeah, a huge community of
huge,
people.
Yeah.
There's so many pockets of genre in Nashville, you know.
There's even a rave scene. I don't know if you know, but there's a rave scene. There's a place called The Office in East Nashville, and it is a scene.
Oh man!
I went one night and I was very. It was an interesting.
Don't air yourself.
It was a really well. Okay, to be fair, I went at 2 a.m. Yeah. I have no reference on other evenings. The DJ was great. I was not prepared.
Yeah, for what that was?
The rave.
Yes,
the rave.
Right. I feel mentally prepare yourself up. You know, at our age to go to a rave.
Yeah, I was not prepared, but it was cool. It was cool to see it because I'm so used to singer-songwriter, guitar, piano. Yeah. That it was nice to be in an environment that provided kind of a different outlet, and that's why Night We Met, places like that have an area for people to do dance and DJ and just electronic music is really cool. Yeah. I love when music affects people because that's why it's here. I know there's people who love sports and they don't listen to music, right? That's their passion. That's what drives them. I feel that way about music. I wouldn't know what to do without it. I mean, it saves lives just like sports can save a life. I know it sounds silly, I guess, when you say it out loud, but things like that give people a place to be, a place to go, that keeps people okay when they're in a dark place, you know?
Well, and, you know, just on a baseline level, it's a coping mechanism for everything we go through in life, you know, and all of our struggles and hardships. We have a healthy outlet for that, you know what I mean? Instead of just getting hammered all the time, you know what I mean? Trying to escape your sad feelings, you can put them on a piece of paper and turn them into a song that is cathartic and helps you move along with life, you know?
Yeah. It's definitely... Alcohol definitely is quite the escape, and it's something over the years I've thought a lot about my relationship to it. So I didn't grow up around alcohol, so I didn't have the education or knowledge behind how my relationship would look to it. So when I started kind of dealing with my traumas, or when I was right in the middle of it, I definitely didn't understand what my relationship was supposed to be. And I had to learn that on my own. And it also affected my singing because I would lose my voice. It would dry it out. I would not really be able to sing the way I wanted to. And it's also why as a musician, I do not like karaoke, because if I'm drinking, I take it too seriously and then I'm worried I'm going to lose my voice. Yeah. So I find that alcohol can affect a lot of really, really special things in all of us. And I still drink. I'm not
Yeah,
I'm not sitting here.
I'm
not sober, but I definitely have explored the idea of what life would be like if I one day decided to do that.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Okay, I'm ready to hear your second song that you brought to me today. When did you write this song?
We wrote this, my friend Chandler and I, on August 20th last summer.
Okay,
this past August.
Okay.
So I actually asked him if I could do this because, I really loved the song when we wrote it together. Mm-hmm. But in Nashville, it's really important to make sure you're kind of sharing the credit. So, and just in general, not just Nashville. I think it's important if you write with someone that you share the noise. Mm-hmm. So we wrote this, and it's called 10-Year Town.
Okay, great. 10-Year Town. I love that name.
Breathing the last bit of cigarette smoke. Sing another song that nobody knows. Breathe out the last bit of my hope. Still walking down this bumpy toll road. In this 10-year town, I am walking through the fire. Even when I'm sinking low, I will retire. This road I'm on is full of highs and lows and twists and turns, but I'm still hanging on, and I'll stand strong through the sunshine and the rainfall. I will rise above it all. Feeling my wheels sinking quicksand, testing how much more that I can take. A broken heart wired and not afraid. These walls I'm built, the wolves seem to break. In this 10-year town, I'm walking through the fire. Even when I'm sinking low, I will retire. This road I'm on is full of highs and lows and twists and turns, but I'm still hanging on, and I'll stand strong through the sunshine and the rainfall. I will rise above it all. I will rise above it all. I will rise above it all.
Great performance, guys.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
It made me kind of emotional.
Yeah, well, tell me about why. Tell me what you think about when you're singing that.
Growth. I mean, it's been confidence and insecurity and anxiety, and that's been a challenge throughout my entire life. Mm-hmm. And this song, when I wrote it, it kind of just felt like I've faced it. I've really stood in front of myself, and I've looked in the mirror, and I'm okay. Mm-hmm. And even when I get knocked down, and I get knocked down, but I always get back up. I'm very resilient. So I think the song is a bit about being able to be resilient.
Yeah. We see that a lot in your songwriting, I think.
Yeah. That's my theme.
Yeah.
That's
You can't keep me down.
You can't knock me down.
That's right.
You can't shake me.
Yeah.
I had an audition actually many years ago that I missed for Sony because I chose to drink. I wanted to party. I was in my early 20s. I was naive and I was like, I'll get another chance at this. And unfortunately, in my early 20s, I've had multiple instances that I had removed from me because of my lack of responsibility. I was cast in an off-Broadway show. I was late to the first rehearsal, and I was able to go through the full rehearsal, and then later that night I was at an audition for MTV and they kicked me out of the show. They said, there's people who want this and you showed up late. And I remember I was never late again. I was so embarrassed and I was so ashamed, and I just was I had so much pride and ego back then. And not only did alcohol make a play in one of my situations, but just my lack of responsibility. So seeing who I was and seeing now the difference is huge. I mean, I would never be late again. It was something I will never forget. I announced it to everyone. I was like, I'm in an off-Broadway show. Come see me. It was back when Facebook had the ability. It was like college kids only or something. But I was like, come see my show. And then I deleted it. But obviously social media back then wasn't as prevalent as it is now. So a lot of people didn't see it. But, you know, when you're that young and you care a lot about your image. So I was like, everyone saw this.
Yeah, right.
So I think I've just, the difference between then and now is astonishing. But it's supposed to be how it is. You should be growing.
Right. That's like the whole point.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. We're gonna talk about the song BB Rexa. I'm gonna show you crazy. This is the first time I heard the song was when you bringing me this song. Why you decided to bring this song? What the song brings up for you? When you heard it first?
I love this freaking song. This song has been on repeat for many years. I think it came out probably around the same time as a lot of the other songs I shared with you. I have a tendency to like songs from a few years ago, but this song, I mean, for me, the way I viewed it was she's saying, I'm allowed to be whoever I want to be, and I can be crazy, and take me as I am, take me or leave me, and this is who you see is who you're going to get. And something I love about that is that's kind of how I am. I feel like with me, just this is who I am. I'm quirky, I'm a little strange, just like everyone, but that's what you're going to get. And I've had people, especially in my dating life, I think I used it a lot when I was going through something in my dating life, because in the past, not now, but in the past, I had a lot of people be like, oh, you're so intense, you're too much, you know, you're I can't handle you. And it was a lot of that, and it was really frustrating because I'm not going to apologize for that. So the song helped me a lot when I was really pissed off at people who told me I was too much. Because I was like, well, I'm going to show you, because I'm not apologizing for this.
Right, yeah. I'm not going to let you put me in a box
of
what you think I should be.
I had a conversation, and rest in peace, I had a conversation with a man named Gary, and I used to bartend in New York City at this bar, and he was a regular. He was a music industry guy, did very well in the music industry. And he always loved my voice. And I remember he came to see my cabaret show that I did at the Duplex downtown, and after the show he said, I love your voice, I would love to kind of just talk more about your career. I went in, I had the meeting, and this is when we first started becoming friends, and he basically was, you know, telling me what he thinks would work, what I should do. He set me up with a writer named Anthony. I apologize, I believe that is his name. If you're listening, I believe that was you. It was a long time ago. There was another female writer involved in this as well. And anyways, he basically kind of alluded to the fact that I might have to make decisions that would get me farther. And I'm sure you can kind of read between the lines there. And I said, not with him. That's the thing. It was not with him. It was just, he was talking about radio heads and how to get music on the radio and all this stuff. And obviously, I don't think it happens that way for everyone, but it was just kind of a passing comment he made about the darker side of the industry. And I just said to him, I was like, I'm never going to do that. And he said, well, then you're probably going to have a harder time getting farther. And you know, I never kind of took him as rude or disrespectful, because he was just being frank with what he knew and his experience. And we'd remained, friendly over the years until, unfortunately, he passed during COVID. But I just remember saying, well, I'd rather have nobody know who I am than sell my soul to just be in the industry, because a lot of people get really far in this industry and they regret it. So I want to do music because it makes me feel joy. It's my therapy. It's part of who I am. I'm doing it for myself, but I'm also doing it just to inspire people who are similar to me or who just like what I have to say. So I refuse to change. And if that means that, well, I don't refuse to change. I refuse to be someone I'm not. So if that means that I don't get wherever people think I need to go, then I'd rather just stay where I'm at.
Tell me about Dominoes then in that context.
So Dominoes is a song that I wrote and produced with Jesse Savio, who is the host and the founder of The Get Up with his wife Allison. And Jesse helped me with this song. We kind of discussed it. It's about deception and false friendships and just a lot of promises and things that people present in your face but isn't the reality of who they are. Social media, you see a lot on social media of what people are showing you, but then you meet them and you're just kind of questioning why. Why are you putting yourself out there like that? I actually would prefer to see you the way you are. Stop being so rehearsed. In some ways it sells. I know plenty of people that are very successful in social media that sell, and they do it well, but the song has really become something more of like about perception and reality. Dual, two sides to every story. It's a rock song. It was a very, very rock and roll, straight rock and roll. Funny enough, actually, that reminds me, when I was in the studio, the chorus of this song goes pretty high. At one point, Jesse and I were trying to figure out what to add to the song to make it a little more interesting in terms of the backings. And we both did a scream vocal. We decided not to put it in the song because it almost sounded like some super heavy rock band. Like, I forget the name of the one song, but I used to blast that when I was working out.
Yeah,
I used to blast it. I was angry back in the day.
You think you're less angry now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I did a lot of inner work, as we've discussed. I was very angry. And actually something that saved my life a little bit was kickboxing.
Oh, nice.
So I taught kickboxing in New York for a couple years.
Okay.
But I started kickboxing in 2009. And then I started teaching after my mom died. Or right around when my mom died is when I started teaching it. Now I just do it for fun. But punching that bag, man, feels really good.
Yeah, it does. You gotta let it out somehow, right?
It's also kind of like dancing. I mean, it's not dancing, but when you're boxing, there are different techniques and movements that you have to do when you're hitting the bag. And sometimes when I'm hitting the bag and I'm moving my hip, left or right, it kind of feels like a really rough house version of like ballet.
Yeah.
I
know exactly what you mean. Yeah, or like prescribed motions.
Yeah, it's cool and it's beautiful. And for me, it's a great high intensity workout, and I kind of balance it with yoga.
Yeah.
Shavasana.
Shavasana, yes.
Yeah, gotta meditate.
A little bit sometimes.
I love meditation. I love yoga. I love boxing. So.
Yeah.
Right, Shane?
I knew nothing about it.
I didn't know you were into
have to take
kickboxing.
lessons.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you should teach all of us girls some self-defense or something.
Oh my gosh, that would be so fun.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
I have wanted to try Krav Maga. I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, that's
Krav Maga's on my list.
Is that? That's like Israeli combat fighting? Hand-to-hand combat fighting.
Yeah, and you're protecting. It's a very good way to learn how to protect yourself, especially as a woman and a man too. You never know, but definitely something I'm a little intimidated to do, but I think it would be really interesting. I've also always wanted to go to a rage room, so if this gives you a theme of my internal fire. I am a Sagittarius, so my internal fire is just like...
Yeah. Okay, so do you think that internal fire, that kind of level of aggression kind of shows in this song, Domino?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. And not this song, but another song on my EP that was really never finished, but it's called Bottom of the Bottle. It's about an ex-boyfriend. And I remember I was in the studio with an old producer singing it, and he goes, "Damn, you're really pissed." And I was like, good timing. I'm doing it when I'm actually mad, because had I done it a couple months to a year later, I probably wouldn't have had the same response. And when I wrote Dominoes, it was kind of the same thing. I was going through some stuff in my life, and I felt like it was the perfect time to write a song about that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, why don't we hear it? You know,
yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
I was like actively thinking of a way to like make that rise.
How
we do that.
We've been working on the acoustic versions of a lot of my songs because a lot of them are so big that toning me down requires a lot of
or raising the acoustic
guitar.
Yeah.
So Dominoes was it was super fun to perform when we got the chance to do it live though.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
With the band?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
We did it at Rock Opry for John Bon Jovi, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Kazi.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, thank you so much for coming to be on my show today.
Yay.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you guys for coming on the show. Today we've had Lindsay Benjamin and my friend Shane Bradley on the show today, backing us up all with a little get fiddle.
Come on now.
Come on now. Get yourself some. Beautiful guys. If you'd like to follow along for more artists and their songs, please subscribe. And we'll see you next time here on The Songs We Carry.